And we are live. It is another sunny day in the world of toy collecting. Tons of stuff going on. Tons of stuff that's been going on. Um, we're checking in on Sunday to do sort of a regular update on stuff that basically that I like. I get on here and talk about all the brands and all the toys that I like, and then kind of discuss some of the other stuff too that's out there that what I realized was I don't talk a lot about other brands, but I'm going to bring one up today just because I think that's going to be sort of a regular thing going forward. Brands that I'm curious about that I just don't have anything on my shelf. So um, Before we get into that, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Kevin out in Nova Scotia. Kevin sent me this great find that he got from Value Village. It's an old Dragon Ball Z um, figure. It's one of these, like, he's wired and he's meant to be bendy, but he doesn't really hold a pose very well. Yeah, I guess he kind of does a little bit, but not. Certainly not the articulation schemes that we're used to these days, for sure. But big shout out to Kevin for that. Um, that's all I got for show and tell. Probably going to be a quick video today. Lots going on, so let's get right into it. The big thing going on right now is GI Joe Classifieds just kind of blowing up. I mean, I'm we had the HasLab finish for the His Tank the other day, and let me just quickly pull that up so that we can sort of look at the final number. The final number in the end, once everything was sort of said and done and settled in, because I know that it kind of fluctuated a little bit at the very end there. 26,772 backers. There was a target of 8,000, which they cleared within, I think, 8 hours. Like, I think it went live when I started my workday, and I think it was cleared before I went home, and then just continued to build on that and went from strength to strength. Hit all the extended goals. Now we're just waiting on the voting for the tactician, which is, I think, pretty cool. I'm less excited about the tactician than I am about sort of the rest of the package itself. The Hiss I'm really excited about. The driver, the female driver. The tactician is sort of a bonus to me, but if I'm being perfectly honest, I'm probably going to sell that tactician off. Probably going to sell off the retro Cobra Commander as well. It's I'm scrolling down to the. I'm trying to scroll down to the Cobra Commander. I won't bore anybody with all the stretch goals and stuff like that. But the retro Cobra Commander, we got renders for it. We got renditions of it with sort of our articulation. It looks to be pinless, which is cool. I think that works really well for this figure, just because he's got that retro inspired, fabric look to his costume, with the Mickey Mouse Cobra logo on the chest, which is, a throwback to the original mail away version, if I'm not mistaken, with the Cobra symbol just kind of looking a bit funny, a little bit like Mickey Mouse, hence the nickname. But I am, the nostalgia is great, but for me, I really want modern versions. I actually prefer the version that we've gotten in Classified of Cobra Commander over this retro version, which is why I'm not really as keen on this as a lot of people are, and I'm going to be very willing to sell this off to sort of subsidize my my His Tank price. So I'm definitely going to be keen to see which tactician wins. I think the popular ones already look to be the black with red and the purple have been the two that I've sort of seen the most buzz about among people that I've interact with and comments that I've seen and stuff like that. I think they all look great, but I also, in a weird way, I also think none of them quite fit the what am I trying to say? Like, you get the driver and the female driver, and they're the sort of classic red with the blue chest. When I look at all 6 of these options that we've got, none of them matches the drivers or the gunners, or whatever you want to call them. So to me, it's sort of like, yeah, the 2 bonus figures are great, But that being said, I don't really need either of the bonus figures. I'm happy with the driver and the female driver or gunner, whatever sort of name they're going to end up giving her. Um, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the live comments or in the comments down below. Which of the His Tactician colorways are you most excited about? And are you more excited about that colorway of the Tactician than you are about the sort of classically inspired throwback driver that we got at the base offering? Let me know. I'm very curious. I'm genuinely um, I'm very keenly sort of following this and very curious what people's thoughts are on that. I think all the his goals, all the stretch goals are really, really fun. We get the chin guns, the added guns on the turret, the alternates. So the sort of classically inspired alternates didn't really land for me. That was a stretch goal that I didn't really care for, which is fine. I mean, it doesn't have to be for everyone. When I sort of look at what I want in my collection, it's kind of the same with that retro inspired Cobra Commander. I have, a 1983 Cobra Commander vintage figure. I have a vintage His tank. I'm not looking for those in the classified line. I'm looking for modern updates. I'm looking for stuff that's a little bit new, a little bit fresh, a little bit different. I I I get what they're going for with the clear visor, with the tread covers, the classically inspired tread covers, but I don't know that I'm ever going to put them on my His tank. I'm absolutely in love with the canopy that we got. This one with the gull wing style canopy with a little added red. I love the tread covers as well with the red highlights and then the drop down red ladder. Like all that stuff to me adds to what was already a pretty cool design. So I personally don't necessarily need the classic stuff. I'm more inspired by the what's to come stuff in a lot of ways. Um, so yeah, that being said, the red driver works really, really well for me. So um, and then sort of on top of the fact that the His tank funded, I mean massively funded, we're starting to see more figures ship. So more people are seeing their Alley Viper ship, their Bats ship, their Cobra Officer Spirits, Storm Shadow ship, and then on top of that, we're starting to see the next wave. So we're seeing Zaymot, Tomax, Stalker. There's been in-hand pictures of the Crimson Guard from Spain. Why Spain of all places seems to get them sooner than anybody else is sort of beyond me. It seems like one of the last places that would get it. But nonetheless, there you have it. On top of that, I don't know about the Target customers down in the US, but up here in Canada, Toys R Us is starting to see the Python Patrol Viper, as well as the Tiger Force Outback. Now, I haven't seen anybody with the Python Patrol Bats yet, but I think it's only a matter of time. It seems to me that they are shipping in full cases, and a lot of Toys R Us seem to be getting multiple cases. So like I've seen shelves of kind of 12 Outbacks at a time. I haven't been lucky enough to find an Outback, but I did find the Python Patrol Viper so far, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm still on the fence about the Python Patrol stuff. Like I've said before, I'll probably keep one of each, meaning like one Viper, one Bat, one. I'm mixed up now. I can't remember if they call him the Python Patrol Officer or Python Patrol Trooper, but either way, it's the officer figure in Python Patrol. So I think they kept it. I think they kept it correct, not to be confused with the Python Patrol trooper from the vintage. But anyway, that's a video for another channel. I think I don't really get that deep with the vintage stuff, but um, the floodgates are starting to open, and I think we're gonna see a ton of products soon. And I think all the complaints of um, when are we getting these figures? Why can't Hasbro ship us anything? And on and on and on. I think will be a thing of the past. I genuinely believe that they've kind of turned the corner, and that we're going to start to see a little bit more regular distribution. I forgot the Walmart retro carded figures. So I know that customers down in the US have found all four of the figures that have been released at Walmart. I know that Hasbro Pulse had them up and might still have them all up. I know that personally, I found Baroness and Lady J so far, and I didn't have to sort of dig for them or be there at sort of the right time. It seemed like I was kind of there midday, and there was still a few on the shelf. So I think distribution's getting better. I think numbers are getting better. They even said with Mindbender that they produced 3 times more Mindbenders than they did with the Master of Disguise Zartan. So it just makes me think that the availability will be better, that the numbers are getting a little bit better, which is great because it means that everybody should be able to get all of these figures at retail relatively easily, or at least that's my hope. Fingers crossed. But Tyler, you have a good point, but do you think once you see the figures in hand that you might want to keep them because they might look really good? I keep going back and forth on that. The thing for me, especially with the retro carded stuff, is I've been thinking a lot about this, and I'm sort of planning to do a video specifically about this. I think there's a lot of collectors that collect for nostalgia, and I'm not one of them. I got back into collecting when I had kids, and I genuinely want to sort of I guess there's a nostalgic aspect to it, but I don't look at the toys that I had as the toys that I want. I look at the toys that are out now and how good they are, and I get really excited about that. I get really excited about modern versions of things. I get really excited about articulation schemes as they are now compared to what they were. I'm not even a photographer, but in terms of what you can do with the figures, in terms of how you can pose them and how you can get sort of a scene or a look or a pose out of a figure that's in your head out into the real world in a way now that you absolutely could not do with vintage figures. And I'm going to be mentioning them a little bit later. Once we sort of move past G.I. Joe, I'm going to talk about some Dragon Ball stuff. And honestly, the first I got this guy, this wired guy. He's awesome for sort of what he is. But bendy wires don't really get a figure in the position that you want. The first Dragon Ball figures that I ever had 3 points of articulation. They had they could rotate at the shoulders, and their head would turn. It wasn't even on a ball, it was just on a left right, you couldn't get any angle or anything like that. So that's a perfect example for me where the what you can do with the figures now, and sort of how you can sort of get from your imagination sort of out into a physical form, like the poses and things like that, just make modern stuff just so much more fun for me. As somebody that always says that I'm not a collector, I'm just somebody that has a lot of toys. That's sort of part of it for me, is that I don't look at my toys as precious objects. I look at them as toys. I play with them. They come off the shelf. They get posed. Sometimes they get dirty. Sometimes I sort of misplace parts, whether it's pistols or knives or whatever accessory. But to me, that's what it's about. It's not about the toy in and of itself. It's about the the play patterns, the imagination, the memories that you create with it. Nostalgia only works um, if there's sort of a memory connected to it. You know what I mean? And as a kid, I played with my toys. I didn't put them on a shelf. They went in a bin. So um, yeah, it's just a weird thing. It's just a really fascinating thing, nostalgia. And yeah, it's just been something that I've been thinking about a lot. That I've been sort of going over and over in my head multiple times. But on that note, um, you know, it kind of brings me to the where is it? Sorry, I'm trying to get my share screen back up here. Um, on that note, this it came in theaters this week. Dragon Ball Super Superhero. I took my 6-year-old to this, and it was fantastic. Absolutely, like, well worth going to the theater to see this. Um, I didn't know anything about it going in. I've been a Dragon Ball figure since I was a kid, watching, you know, recorded Japanese VHS copies of the show, knowing the characters' names, but not really knowing anything much about them. And then, you know, as a teenager, stuff started showing up in Canada, whether it was sort of VHS copies or I vaguely remember Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z being shown. I'm pretty sure on YTV in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Um, but I just absolutely have sort of loved Dragon Ball and the characters and the designs of the characters for forever. This movie was a ton of fun. I recently got sort of back into Dragon Ball because of the last Dragon Ball Super movie, which was Broly, and it was really fun to sort of share the experience of going to see this in the theater with my kid. We've now sort of gotten into watching the series, so we started at the beginning. She's working her way through Dragon Ball. I'm rewatching Dragon Ball Z. Um, I started Dragon Ball Super, but I'm really excited to get into that. The figures that go along with these are fantastic. So that was sort of, you know, again, I there's a nostalgic element because I'm revisiting things from my childhood that I really like to sort of see what my kids like, what they enjoy. The figures for these, the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball figures are phenomenal. The articulation is great. The designs are fantastic compared to the 3 points of articulation from the first Dragon Ball figures that I ever had. These things are night and day. Um, and just how they do the articulation is really cool. The engineering is a lot of fun. If you've never had a Figure Arts figure in hand, it's definitely something that I would strongly recommend that people get into. They're just a ton of fun. They just pose up really well, and Dragon Ball for me was always about sort of the fun aspect of it, the playfulness that is that series, and it's just really fun to get to sort of play with those toys in that playful way and to sort of get them to hit the poses that you sort of see in the show. They got tons of extra hands, extra faces, extra heads, extra accessories, tons and tons of stuff. Um, I mean, I'll just grab one for reference. Oh no! Without having to rearrange my whole shelf. I'll just grab one for reference because this was the first one that I got, and it was just sort of I popped his tail out. Um, but I'll put him on. I'll put him on his. I'll put him on the flying Nimbus. Well, he's not going to stay, but so the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Kid Goku. Just a super fun figure. Comes with the Nimbus. I actually got this from Bishop, good boy down in Vancouver. But yeah, I mean, so I've just sort of posed him with this classic Kid Goku kind of pose with the peace sign and the closed eyes. But he comes with like 8 different hands and like 3 or 4 different face plates. You get this one, you get smiling, you get probably an angry one. I can't even remember which face plates it comes with, but just a great figure, a great line, and something that I'm really excited about. I've got some of the I mentioned. I mentioned the movie, and the movie has these 2 new characters, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, which are these guys right here, these 2 androids, and they're really really fun. I've seen that there's a lot of people that don't love the design or love the characters, or like I don't know what they didn't like, but if I mean, having seen the movie, I like the design right off the bat. So I actually pre-ordered these before I saw the movie. Then I saw the movie and was like super super excited to get them in hand. So I'm really looking forward to getting those guys in hand, as well as some of the others. Piccolo with the yellow rather than the pink, reflecting that he's a little bit older and that his Namekian skin tone has changed. And then the Gohan figure that you get, the Dragon Ball superhero Gohan that's coming out is going to be a really really fun figure, because I mean, I actually ordered the figures without realizing that the Gammas come with extra parts to go with Gohan. So I'm really looking forward to getting all that. There's but yeah, it's just different lines, different stuff, different fun stuff. Now the line that I wanted to quickly just sort of touch on, um, it's a line that I don't really know anything about. It is a line that I'm curious about, because they picked up and sort of announced that they have a GI Joe license. But Haya Toys is a brand that I'm really just not that familiar with, but they've got a lot of really cool product and a lot of really cool licenses. So, I mean, this is just their homepage, and I'm just sort of scrolling through. So they've got like RoboCop, they've got some DC stuff, they've got Predator. Like I said, they have GI Joe. Here we're scrolling down, we got Judge Dredd, like a whole bunch of Judge Dredd stuff. Godzilla versus Kong, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Aliens, Colonial Marines. The only reason that I've sort of not jumped into Haya Toys in a big way is that a lot of their stuff, not all, but a lot of their stuff is 1/18 scale. So it's sort of that 3 3/4 inch scale of vintage GI Joe. So this would sort of fit with like modern GI Joes, or 3 3/4 inch Marvel Legends that were out a while ago. I mean, that line is done, but regardless, I mean, that would fit. So if you're a 3 3/4 inch or a 1/18 collector, definitely check these guys out. Just a lot of really really cool stuff that they're doing. A lot of cool brands, and I'm very curious to see what they are going to do with the GI Joe license that they have. Just based on how good these figures look. Like the crazy thing about Hyatt Toys for me is that it's hard to sort of imagine that these are 1/18 scale because of how much detail that they have. So that's why I'm so keen to check out when they sort of ever do GI Joe stuff. But but yeah, just like the level of detail in something like this, Predator figure is just phenomenal. You got yours translucent with some printed stuff as well. Like just really, really great looking figures. But yeah, that's Hiya Toys. It's just good stuff. Just exciting that there's so many cool brands out with so many cool licenses and sort of reimagining different things from my childhood, from our childhoods, our shared childhoods. Um, I what's behind me on the shelf is sort of the main things that I collect. So classified, Mythic Legions. I've got a lot of Marvel Legends, but I've kind of slowed down on that because now that I've got a lot of the characters that I wanted. The SH Figuarts Dragon Ball stuff, which you can see, that's that top shelf there, which will probably fill up sooner rather than later. But I do have some other odds and ends. Like I have a couple Super 7 Thundercats. I've got Super 7 Snake Eyes coming. He's en route. I mean, I don't know when he's showing up, but hurry up and wait, I guess. And then a bunch of vintage stuff that I don't have on the shelf behind me. It's on another shelf over there, actually. But yeah, there's just so much good stuff. And as my good buddy Eddie likes to say, it's the golden age of toys right now. With all the options, with all the opportunities to sort of get things that we like and that we would like. It's a great time to be a collector. That's just sort of the beauty of it, right? Like if there's we also live in an age where you can get anything that you want. If there's something that you missed, you might have to pay the late fee, so to speak, whether that's a vintage toy, whether you missed something current or recent, you could still pick it up. So that was a good example of that is my Kid Goku. I was late to the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball party for sure. I think this was I want to say a 2018 release, maybe 2019. But I only picked it up 3 or 4 months ago, I think. So you can get it all. You can have it all. Space and budget permitting, of course. But yeah, if you could have anything, if there was sort of any line that you could have it brought back or sort of reimagined, well, maybe it's a two-part question. So this is my sort of second question of the day. And let me know in the live comments or in the comments below. And I'm sort of, I'll get more into this on a future video maybe, but which toy line would you love to see redone now for 2022? And part deux of the question, would you want it to be a faithful recreation of the vintage line, maybe with sort of an updated articulation scheme in the way that like Super 7 is doing some of their stuff, or how like the Masters of the Universe Origin stuff is being done? Or would you like to see it fully updated? So would you like to see it with, fully updated articulation, fully updated decos to sort of modernize it, so on and so forth. So which line, and true to the original or updated? Let me know. I'm super curious to see what people think. Like I said, busy weekend. That's all I sort of had for today. I'm gonna cut it short today because my kid asked me if I would go swimming with her, and I said that I would. And if I don't go sooner rather than later, I'll just stay on here and just rant for ages. So on that note, thank you all. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you would like to see more, please hit that subscribe button. And if you didn't like it, by all means, hit the dislike button. I'm always curious to see how much people dislike either me or the content or the format or whatever. But on that note, I will bid you adieu, and I will say have a great rest of your weekend. And you'll be seeing more from me pretty soon. I've got a couple unboxings planned that'll probably post midweek, and I will be back live next weekend. Thank you. Bye bye.